here, we're doing a PVC lat stretch. So obviously, I don't know if you have what you need to do that specific stretch, but you can simply do a lat stretch. Pull your elbow over this way and get that whole right side body stretched out. And then you can go into a child's pose and reach to each side. Spend a couple minutes doing that. Sound cool?
Yeah, I mean, I got like a broomstick or whatnot. I mean, if you want.
All right, so then, all right, cool. That'll work. Let me show you what we're doing here.
Do it on camera and I'll see what I've got works.
Don't tell me what to do, bro. I'm not your little monkey here exercising for your fucking pleasure, bro. That's
Don't you feel like some days
100%, Kim. 100%. I'm not gonna lie. Trying to get you guys to laugh, trying to get you guys to work hard. It's all a fucking act, you know what I mean? All right, so we're looking to stretch out the lats. Here's what you're gonna do. So squeeze your elbows together, try to get them to touch, and then walk your hands out as far as you can get them, okay? So it's only gonna give you so much room, but you get into this position here, try to keep your elbows together, that's the main focus. Push your hips back, and then try to keep your elbows touching and really sit those hips back into the ankles. While you're in this position, maybe a little cat-cow right here. And then push your hips back and see if that'll help open up the lats a little bit. But regroup, come back to the center every couple, 10, 15 seconds. And then try to, smash those elbows together. Same thing, walk the hands outward. And then try it again. Sit back. Put your head in different positions. First one, tuck your head down. Second one, you can lift your head up. And then, like I said, go into a few cat-cows. Once you're in that position, you can feel around what's going to feel best and where you need it. And there was a question this morning of, should I be feeling it here? Like, yeah, you should be feeling it wherever you're tight. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, guys. Let's rock and roll. One more exercise on our mobility list. We're going to revisit it for our finisher if we have time. All right, so it's going to be we're doing Turkish Get-Ups all week long. Turkish Get-Ups are a great exercise, great full body exercise. Probably my top 2 favorite of all times because you got mobility, you got stability, you got core strength, you got upper and lower body functional or function. I should just end it with that. But we're gonna each day we're gonna add upon the previous step, so to speak. So the Turkish Get Up, I'm gonna show you the full Turkish Get Up, and then each day we're gonna practice one specific part of it. That's how big of an exercise it is. It has many components, right? And you can see, even this is a component. I'll start with this. Safety first. So keep that kettlebell snuggled up, close to your body, and then roll onto your back. And then punch it up as if you're doing a press. Number 2. Now, that kettlebell, don't let it flop backwards. Okay, so you want to make sure your forearms are engaged. If you're using a kettlebell, if you're using a dumbbell, it's way easier to balance. The kettlebell is obviously offset, so it's going to be wanting to pull you this way. Your job is to keep that forearm engaged, number 1. Okay. Number 2, you look at all the joints should be stacked up. Physical education 101, and this goes beyond the Turkish Get Up. Wrist should be above the elbow, should be above the shoulder, right? That's stability. Next up, you want to make sure that same side is up. So whatever hand is up, that's the knee that's up. Should be easy to remember, right? And this back hand here, the other hand, your other leg is going to be your base leg. Or base. Just stop right there. This is going to be your base, okay? This is going to be the working side, this is going to be the base side. So the first step is just to roll up onto this elbow here. This back elbow, I'll spin around. You guys at home can see. This back elbow should be engaged. Well, the elbow shouldn't be engaged. The elbow should be pressing into the floor to engage the neck muscles and to engage the core muscles, right? So it's here. That's number 1. I'm just gonna finish the Turkish Get Up. Right back down to here, and then, traffic jam. When you're going from one side, please roll it over your head for safety, right? You don't want that kettlebell coming right across your nose. You're tired, your hands are slippery, you don't want it falling in your face. And then other side, obviously, rinse and repeat, same exact principles, right? But for your mobility today, it's just going to be the first exercise of that. Actually, two. You should work on the safety part of it, and then work on just this, just rolling up. That's a core exercise all in itself. Here, making sure this bottom shoulder and lat are activated, and then come roll back down. Okay, your call if you want to do 5 on one side or you want to alternate each time, but that's the get up, and every day we're going to build upon it. But today, just do that first roll up, 5 each side, and then we'll rock out with our warm up. All right, so warm up, 3 exercises, 3 rounds, easy breezy. One is overhead kettlebell press. Right, we just did a few of them, sort of, just now with your kettlebell get up, but I'll give you the option to use 1 or 2, depending on what you're feeling like today, okay? So if you want to use 1, it's just going to offset your balance a little bit. It's going to make you work a little bit harder. You may not even realize it, right? Simple stuff, though. We talk about it all the time. Glutes tucked underneath, abs nice and tight here. You're pressing straight up, right? We just talked about stacking joints. Right, so wrist above the elbow, above the shoulder, above the hip, above the knee, above the ankle. You don't want to come out here. You definitely don't want to be way far back this way. Okay. Now, if you're doing 1 at a time, let's do 6 each side. And if you're doing 2, you can do 10 once. All right, here we go. Ready? Banded march in place. Driving this bottom leg into the ground, lifting that one opposite knee up, right? So this bottom leg is getting some core work. This bottom leg is getting some glute work, and this top knee is getting some hip flexor and action. That make sense? So 15 each. Take your time with it. Don't race through that, or you're going to miss the opportunity to activate everything that you could be with that. And then last up, really easy walkouts. Walk out to a high plank position and walk back up. Hinge at the waist, stand back up. Easy breezy. Guys at home, reps are in the board, reps are in the chat. You guys see the reps right here. You guys have any questions? Rock and roll. Good, let's get warmed up. This week, our work is going to be CYOA. What does that mean? What does that mean legally? Cover your own ass, right? But when we're talking fitness, and when we're looking to create a transition week for you, that means create your own adventure. Okay. So each day there's going to be a push exercise, a pull exercise, a core exercise, and a leg lower body dominant exercise. 10 to 15 reps each. 16 sets total is what we recommend. You can pick and choose, figure out how and what you need to do for where you're at. Now, it's going to probably make more sense later in the week. Maybe your back's a little sore, your legs are a little sore, and you want to change it up. You want to do more of one thing. You want to work on your squats. Maybe you do more lower body stuff. But that's how the work's going to be all week long. Make sense? So today's exercises are Plyo Push-Up for you folks at home. Looking for something, sorry, Heather, from my butt, your face. Either on your knees, simple stuff. Think about shoulder blades and bringing down your shoulder blades in the back and using that for building up energy to get that to get yourself off the ground. Does that make sense? So you don't want to stay here and just keep those shoulders rounded forward. You really want to be back, pinching back. It's almost like a row with that back scapula. I'm going to show you guys what you get. Actually, could you get me a barbell and just put it on that side, Heather? And it's the same exact thing, you're just going to use the barbell. You'll be able to stand more upright. Okay. Next up for your pull exercise, it's going to be a unilateral row. A couple different ways you can do it. This way, whatever side is holding the weight, that leg could be back. Okay, but you're going to be in a fixed 90-degree position. pulling that dumbbell or kettlebell right towards your lower waist. Trying to keep your head obviously neutral, shoulders square, and hips square. How do you make that more challenging? Bring the opposite leg back. Now, whatever side is doing the rowing, that leg is forward. Still keeping that hinge position this way, folding over at your waist. Just the way it's situated, the way you have those legs, is going to make it more challenging if you put the same one forward. Okay? Next up, your core exercise today. It's going to be a V-up, or I prefer it to see it's complex. So I'll show you what that means. You guys know what a regular V-up is, right? Here, reaching up, touching your toes. I'm very tight in the hamstring, so I'm not getting very high with my legs, but that's a V-up, right? V-up complex. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. Make sense? That's if you want to spice it up a little bit. You don't have to do that. Some variation of a V-up is totally awesome. Make sense? Next up, uneven kettlebell front squat. Getting back into that front rack position here. I just, for some reason, put my arm out. Makes me feel more balanced. Keeping this elbow nice and tight to the side. Flare it out a little bit to keep that kettlebell from dropping. Here, simple stuff. All the same rules apply to a regular squat. Since it's uneven, I would suggest doing anywhere from 5 to 8 each. We're going to work through this 24 minutes. You guys can go to work. You guys can go to work.